Hello there and welcome to another edition of Channels Beam. I'm Victor Matthias. Now, with barely 2 weeks to the presidential elections, presidential candidates of 13 political parties have been going round the country seeking and canvassing for votes. However, many Nigerians have expressed dissatisfaction at the manner at which the campaign trails have been going round about this issue. Well, on the program today, we'll be finding out what their grouse is with the politicians and also what they expect from vote-seeking politicians. But let's take a moment and look through the trending topics in the past week. Comtech NG. The Minister of Communications Technology, Mrs. Omobola Johnson, took out time to answer questions about the information and communications technology in Nigeria, expatiating on ways to expand it and the opportunities it holds for entrepreneurs and aspiring online-based businesses. Serena Williams. The tennis star won her 19th Grand Slam after defeating Maria Sharapova 6-3, 7-6, 7-5 to win the Australian Open title. Incidentally, it's the first time the American is winning the same title with men's world #1 Novak Djokovic. Well, those were the trends in the past week, but moving forward, you can be a part of this discussion. Just tweet at us using the hashtag #ElectionCampaigns.
The campaigns have not been issue-based at all. If you are looking at it from, let's start from the APC. When they first started campaigning, I feel they'll be talking about issues and what they have to offer the electorate. But until recently, I think that has changed. But for the ruling party, the People's Democratic Party, it hasn't been issue-based at all. They have been accusing character of General Muhammadu Buhari. That's what I feel.
Actually, I'm not in Nigeria for now, but I can see a lot of write-up from different online media and also your channels TV as well. I can see that both parties are trying to accuse one another of what they have not done and what they are going to do and stuff like that. And I think as a political parties, they should try to come up with their manifestos instead of trying to call one another names and all that. If we want to see some democratical way of doing campaign and elections, it's all about trying to present what you can do and what that other party will not do and things like that. That is what I was expecting from both parties, but both parties are trying to call one another names and all that. So I don't know if they are going to come up with more of a manifesto and things they are going to do. I wait for them to see that, but I think the time for election is approaching. So I was expecting them to come up with some way of telling Nigerians what they want to do, but I think what I've been seeing is both parties are trying to accuse each other. You lack this, you done this, that's what I'm seeing so far. I haven't seen anything that really impressed me from both parties concerning when you talk of election manifestos. They have not impressed me.
Yes, I agree that political pressure has not gotten to the extent where we all expect it to be. Different political parties are just castigating others. I strongly agree with what Sonny said. I strongly agree with that. They have only be castigating each other. It hasn't been really issue-based. You find them campaigning against the character of other contestants, which should not be. They should be telling us, for God's sake, what they have to offer Nigerians, how they will develop our economy, how they plan to give us good infrastructures. That is what they should be telling us, not campaigning the way it shouldn't be done. But I feel this election is just the beginning. I'm very sure in subsequent elections it will get better. People are more aware of their rights and the way things should be done.
APC campaign is issued is they are presenting to Nigerians what they want to do and how are they going to solve the fundamental problems and challenges our nation face. While on the other hand, APC campaign is centered on the personality of APC presidential candidates. I mean, they are not presenting to Nigerians what they intend to do moving forward. Rather, they center on issues like Buhari didn't finish his, didn't have certificate, didn't finish his secondary school. I mean, they centered on Buhari's wife, issues, family. Mainly, they just centered on his personality rather than presenting a viable programs that will move Nigeria forward. And I'm not surprised about PDP campaign centered on personality of the APC presidential candidate because they were in power. They are in power for the last 16 years. That is not that they will use as an example that they need to move on with this. That's why they center on the personality of the APC presidential candidate. So, clear difference between the two parties from what I follow, from what I can see.
I don't know what how you give about his own views and all that. I'm sure those in the diaspora will always have to follow news and all that. But those of us in Lagos and in Nigeria get to feel the impact of some of these that campaigns that are close to lots of APC faithfuls or PDP faithfuls and all that. Okay, so with what they've been doing, I don't think so. I don't really want to agree with Suleiman, really. I mean, I followed the campaign train in Akure. I mean, it was live on TV, and it was same old, same thing that what's it called? Shaju was saying some of the campaign zones, for instance, when we were at Kwara, and when we also went to Akure, when we also came to Lagos, was same thing he was also saying or repeating. I mean that he has been repeating. When I listened to Buhari speak at the Ekiti campaign, okay, I think he mentioned issues that are really troubling Nigeria for now. And I think he said corruption, and I can't really remember the other one, but I mentioned corruption as one of the being to the progress of Nigeria. And well, that was where he ended. He never went further to tell us, okay, this is how I'm going to tackle corruption. This is how I'm going to go about doing it. For instance, I think the Jonathan actually said something different when he was saying that how will we tackle corruption? I think he was making reference to what people have been saying, that he has not been able to pin anybody down in the past 4 years he has been in power, 6 years he has been in power. He has not really arrested anybody for corruption, and he was saying that how will he arrest people? I mean, when it can actually set up structures that will naturally stop such corruption from taking place. Okay, so I mean that's for what Jonathan said. But basically, on the whole, really, he has not really been issue-based, so to speak. Because what I've been following all their campaigns, and what I've been seeing reoccurring all through is reactions to what a particular party has said. For instance, what PDP has said, APC reacts to it, or what APC has said, PDP reacts to it. It's been back and forth. There has not really been any end of the political party addressing issues head on, telling us, okay, if I'm elected to power, or if my party is elected to power, if I'm elected to power, what I would do to education, for instance, is one. Then you align it. Then two. Yeah, nothing like that has been done. Okay, so I don't think, like I said earlier, what they've been doing is they are trying to win the hearts of the electorate by, tackling the opposition, the opposition, the competitive, the opposition party. Okay, just to try and get everybody emotional about the whole thing, but not really addressing issues.
I think the campaign, in large respect, has been a shame and a disgrace to Nigeria as a whole. Only a bit of, it's part of just a little bit has been issue-based, but mainly what you've seen in the media And what you've seen in front of newspapers is just shenanigans and absolute stupidity. And it's just taking Nigeria for granted and the whole country. If I'm going to summarize this, it's a shame on the whole country, really, because we've seen people who even claim to be sons or claim to be like senior advocates of Nigeria, ridiculing themselves and cannot differentiate between what is a certificate and what is a statement of results. And is this and what has been in the media, what has been in the news for the last 2 or 3 weeks is about someone's certificate and whether it's qualified or not. It's quite clear. Is this man qualified? Yes, he is. Why is he qualified? The Constitution says he is because Constitution says he's qualified. End of story. Let's move on. But then we see people who should have been banished to the hall of shame, driving a discourse and the narrative of these kind of issues that should be going on. And like I said, some are focused on the real issues. And first of all, the primary responsibility of any government is to look after lives and the wealth of its citizens. And some have started saying, okay, yes, that they will first of all look at the insecurity in the Northeast, which should be the first priority for any government at all. Because if there is no security, there really isn't anything you can do. So some have said they will look after the insecurity, and we know for sure that corruption is the bane of development in Nigeria. If we can look after insecurity first of all, and then look after corruption, and then the economy obviously is part of it. And some have been talking about these things, while some have been going about talking about certificates and sending out spurious and blatant lies and half-truths all over the media about what happened in 1983 and trying to rewrite Nigerian history and change Nigerian history that wasn't there. So part of it has been issue-based, part of it has been absolute disgrace to the country, and it has brought Nigeria, even in the international media, to disrepute, to the extent that even the Cambridge archive assessment have kind of put out a publication because it's been inundated with lots of questions from people in Nigeria trying to find out what happened in 1961, whether this person wrote this exam, and it's been a shame, really, to be honest. I would have expected a lot of issue-based campaigns and debates on the real issues that affect Nigerians, and the real issues of power, the issues of insecurity, the issues of the economy, corruption, and all of that. But then we haven't seen a lot of that, a little bit of it, but it should have been more than what we are seeing today. Like I said, it's been a shame. The campaign has been a disgrace to Nigeria.
In a normal democracy, the power rests with the citizens. I am not calling for a revolution, but I am calling for the social groups, the prayer groups, to come up and protest. Tell them this is what we want. This is what we want them to do. They know it, but they don't want to do it. But if we keep forcing it on them, if we keep shouting, just look at something like the up subsidy in 2012. If we come out en masse again and say we don't want corruption, we want corrupt officials to be prosecuted, I am sure by the time the whole of Nigeria is occupied, they will be forced to do it. And if they don't do it, of course, we can show them the exit doors to our votes. This, I believe, will change their mind settings. By the time they know we are not fools anymore in this country, by the time they know our vote counts, sometimes I wonder, don't our leaders travel abroad? Don't they? Of course, they come to Europe, they even go to, most of their children are outside Nigeria. And of course, those children will come back during holidays to tell their parents how life is here. And still, the parents don't bother, they don't care. I wonder.
Well, there you go. Interesting complaints and demands as well. But do remember to watch this episode of the program and others as well. Just visit channelstv.com or youtube.com/channelsweb. We go on a break, and Wale Oshunde will join us for more analysis on the subject matter. Please don't go away.